An ICE raid in the Los Angeles area went terribly wrong today. For the leftist protesters, that is. So there were multiple ICE raids throughout Los Angeles this afternoon, but this one went off the rails. Now, the reason that happened is because multiple organizations, such as SEIU, basically told people to come out, protest, and obstruct ICE, keep them from doing their jobs. Just take a look at this poster that was shared. Call to action, turn out today. ICE is conducting a series of raids in the Los Angeles area. And by the way, that poster was shared by the California Faculty Association. Yep, teachers encouraging their students, as well as their peers, to come out and fight back against ICE. No wonder our colleges are filled with such radicals. Well, ATF and ICE showed up at this business where the business owner uses illegal immigrants for cheap labor. Well, ICE agents as well as ATF agents went inside the building, and the business owner locked them inside. And as they were inside, the protesters started coming out, and in fact, things got so bad that the FBI was called to the scene. Not only has this been reported all over social media, but during the live news coverage, local news coverage, you could hear them talking about how agents were inside and needed to come out. Take a look.
They're still bringing more people out. Is that what they're setting up for here?
I think they're just trying to get the rest of the agents out. This is mostly FBI at this point that are here, and they were probably collecting additional evidence from inside and just making sure that all their agents were out of the building before they dispersed. So we are seeing a couple more agents that are making their way out of the building. As far as people that are being taken into custody, I believe for the most part, the people that they were targeting inside the building have been taken into custody and were taken away in those vans. And now it's just a matter of the remainder of the investigators and agents to leave the location. So, and that's what we're seeing here. They're starting to kind of wrap things up here. So I feel that this is going to basically wrap up here within the next several minutes, and ultimately we'll see the crowd kind of disperse.
But that was just the beginning. Once everyone was outside and the detainees were all in the vans, the crowd tried to stop them from leaving. In fact, one of the leftist protesters was so dumb that he was essentially begging to be ran over.
There was earlier this morning, apparently a raid by ICE here at a business called Ambiance. Then a crowd started forming outside the perimeter. They started actually surrounding these buildings.
We have a piece of video. You can see that they've gotten the people and they put them in these vans. It was a very strange sight to see because they started to leave and there were people who were protesting, trying to keep these vans from getting out. And the video seen here is deeply troubling because these officers, look, there's that person in front, and the officers did not stop, these agents or whatever federal authorities they were, and notice how this person continued to stay in front, and the officer did not slow. No officer came out and tried to get this out, and then watch as the person in front falls and hits his head on the ground, and that just seemed like it was an injury. But then these agents then moved aside and then immediately took off, and we watched these agents almost as if it was a chase. They got together in the caravan, and we watched as those agencies or those three vans went to the Roybal federal building where they took the people that they had detained. And that was the second caravan that had gone there.
Honestly, that man is really lucky that the ICE agent had a really fast foot on the brakes. He is lucky that he didn't get ran over. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. But unfortunately, the Democrats and the media are already trying to spin this. There are already outcries of police brutality, and they're trying to rev up. I don't know if they're trying to rev up a repeat of the summer of 2020, the summer of love. But actually, the local news referred to it as a man being hit by a car, as if he wasn't obstructing federal officers and people online, and as well as Democrats, the House Democrats in Arizona. I'll get to that in a bit. They're already using that to try to gin up sympathy for these protesters.
Now by Colleen Sullivan, and Colleen, this might be the first time that you've seen this van.
Oh no,
but
I saw this.
It was
Yeah.
terrifying to watch this.
Yeah. And he was, that passions, they're running high. This is definitely never suggested to do because these agents are going to get out of there. This person is clearly, and we saw this, but we did end up seeing that person who was just hit by the car. they did get up. I don't know if they were taken to the hospital, but I saw them sitting up. I saw them,
Just hit by the car, yeah. That's already being used out of context and being framed in such a way to paint the federal officers as, brutalists and just horrible human beings. Well, multiple protesters have been arrested. There are reports of about 24 arrests. 2 of them have been captured on camera, and that includes the president of SEIU. Now, some Democrats are taking that clip out of context and making it look like the ICE agents were the ones who instigated the altercation with the president of SEIU, but that's just not the case. So what had happened before that clip was that was one of the vans that was filled with detainees, and the protesters were warned multiple times to get out of the way, and you could see the van actually multiple times in that short clip inch forward once people were pushed back. So they had been warned. Obviously, you saw that lady put her hands on the vehicle, trying to push it back, trying to basically stop it like the one man did when they were on the larger road. Now, SEIU has put out a statement basically saying that President David Huerta is injured, detained at ICE raid in Los Angeles, and as of the filming of this video, there are several hundred, if not thousands of people in Los Angeles right now at a press conference protesting, basically decrying police brutality. Again, it sounds really familiar to the buildup of summer 2020. Well, the Arizona House Democrats have put out a statement, release David Huerta. This is not a statement by an online influencer or the media. I mean, this is already turning into like officials calling for that man to be released, even though he was obstructing federal agents. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds over the rest of the summer because unfortunately, this isn't just happening in Los Angeles. In major cities across the nation, blue cities, of course, from Minneapolis to New York, Democrat activists are getting in physical altercations with ICE agents. So unless Democrat leadership comes out and says, hey guys, back off, calm down, unless there's a really clear off-ramp, I find it hard to see a way where this gets better without getting worse first. Well, you've probably heard by now that Abrigo Garcia, the Maryland man, is being returned to the United States. He faces charges of human trafficking, but Jamie Raskin must think we are all idiots because he had the audacity to get on CNN and make this claim.
Though he, of course, is alleged to have committed these crimes, do you think that Democrats risk politically playing into the president's hands by focusing on this case?
First of all, I don't know of a single Democrat who defended him specifically against any crimes because he wasn't charged with any crimes. He doesn't have any criminal history, to my knowledge, or a criminal record, and there were no charges outstanding when he got unceremoniously picked up and flown out of the country. I mean, that's called a disappearance. That's what happens in authoritarian societies. They obviously want to make this about whether or not he ends up being a good guy or a bad guy, but it's not a moral question. It's a legal question. It's a constitutional question of whether the government can pick people up and take them out of the country. And I think the Supreme Court has been fairly emphatic about this. Due process is for everybody. Sometimes I hear my MAGA colleagues say, you're for due process for guilty people? Well, yeah, because we don't know if they're guilty or they're innocent until we've had due process. That's the whole point of due process.
I seem to remember Senator Van Hollen flying down to meet with Abrigo Garcia and all the Democrats coming out of the woodwork, going on national TV to sing his praises and to defend him. I mean, the fact that they even labeled him a Maryland man pretty much says it all, right? Next up, we turn to Nashville, Tennessee, where a 21-year-old man was out celebrating his 21st birthday. And on his birthday itself, he was hit by an illegal immigrant from Venezuela. Now, they weren't able to identify the man until a month later. And finally, the federal government is getting involved with the case.
Police have identified a suspect in the hit and run that injured a 21-year-old man on a busy Nashville street. Police took out warrants against this man, 32-year-old Tony Lopez Infante of Venezuela. Now, we do want to warn you, the video you're about to see is pretty disturbing. On May 18th, Zach Karach was celebrating his 21st birthday in Nashville with his family when police say the suspect hit Zach, then drove off. Well, 2 days later, the vehicle was found in Mount Juliet at a rental facility, but the driver has still not been caught. Zach's mom, Sheena, has been sharing what she knows on social media about the suspect, hoping someone will come forward with information.
Just very sad, very tragic. He's been in the hospital for basically a month. This happened around May 13, I believe, so almost a month. And they only were able to identify him recently. And just 10 hours ago, the Department of Homeland Security tweeted this out, identifying the suspect and putting out a call to action to help find him. So hopefully, with federal help, this case will be solved. I just think, I can't imagine, your 21st birthday, such a milestone. And to have something that horrific happen on such a special day, I mean, on any day, it's bad enough. But definitely hope that he is found and brought to justice. In today's video, I would like to acknowledge James Dennis. Thank you so much, James. Very gracious. Maga Meg, G-Ren, Lays, Hirano, My Milk Crown, Throwback Sports Videos, and Idaho Ranch Girl. As the members of the Governor's Club, these are people who have given super thanks or tips to the video. Really glad that you enjoy the channel, and I am so appreciative and thankful for everyone's kind words. So yesterday, obviously, big news day between President Trump and Elon Musk with their feud. Well, President Trump made a statement about it, and I thought it was extremely classy. He was asked by the press on Air Force One.
What's your view on Elon Musk as of today? I mean, have you heard from him at all?
Honestly, I've been so busy working on China, working on Russia, working on Iran, working on so many that I'm not thinking about Elon.
On the China,
I just wish him well.
Perfect answer. I mean, just shove it under the rug. We have better and more important things to focus on. Look, I think Elon Musk had great points about the debt and deficit and needing to get spending under control, but personal insults and getting into the gutter is not how you address that. That's not how you get things done. So I thought that was completely inappropriate and out of line, and I think that was a great response. Now, Musk may not be on President Trump's mind, but the Democrats are already thinking about 2028. It is definitely on their mind. And one of the names that's being tossed about is Wes Moore, who is the governor of Maryland. Wes Moore, in case you're not familiar with him, is a black man. And over on The View, Whoopi Goldberg said that it's not possible, or some people think it's not possible, to elect a black man in this country, despite the fact that Barack Obama was elected twice. Hello, Whoopi?
You know, you have someone like Wes Moore, who is a perfect candidate.
Wes Moore.
You know,
oh my gosh,
and people are saying, well, he, you know, you can't elect a black man. Why not?
Hell yeah,
well,
we did it.
Well, I'm just, but I'm saying.
And what I like about Wes Moore,
I love that Whoopi, you could tell she thought she was going to make such a great point, and she was going to score all these points about, like, oh, I'm really sticking it to the man by speaking up for, these disenfranchised communities, and then her co-hosts are like, come on back to reality. Pretty embarrassing. But as always, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That's what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So these mostly peaceful protests at the ICE raids, what do you think? Do you think that's just a blip on the radar, or do you think we are potentially, obviously I hope it doesn't happen, but do you think we're potentially on the verge of a repeat of the summer of 2020, with the BLM riots? Do the Democrats want to foment this? Because unfortunately, I haven't seen any Democrats come out, and it seems to be increasing in frequency. We saw it in Minneapolis earlier today. It happened in a New York City courthouse, and then obviously in Los Angeles. It just appears that more and more cities, and each time it happens, the intensity is just higher and higher. So what do you think? A blip on the radar, or do you think this is what the Democrats want? Yesterday, my question was basically what you thought about Elon Musk, and usually for the question of the day, there is a very clear-cut answer, or a very clear-cut consensus, like 90, 95, 99% agreement across the board in the comments. Yesterday, it was pretty split down the middle. 50% of you sided with President Trump 100%, and then the other 50% sort of sided with Elon Musk. You sort of took my approach where you agreed with what he was saying as far as the budget and really needing to focus that in, but didn't like the way he did that, didn't like the personal insults, just didn't like the gutter talk. And for the people siding with President Trump, it's not that those commenters, because I don't want to misrepresent anyone's comments. It's not that, people are happy with the bill as far as spending, but there is a belief that we need to spend money to fix the problems that Joe Biden did, and that these investments will increase the revenue and the productivity across the nation by building a stronger economy. So I think that was the consensus on that side, if that makes sense. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.